We gonna run it then. You know what I'm saying? Wait, you want me to introduce you as you know, I just let you introduce yourself, bro, because you want to do your real name or nickname, but it's on you. But hey, finna run this episode. Back at it again. Got a super creative in the house. I've been watching your content for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people I watch, bro, like, cause that's what keeps me inspired too. So whether it's you, like having the setup, like where you got like the man, I don't know if you're using a Rode mic, but you got the microphone, you got like a blue light. It's kind of like a desk setup, like the computer setup. But you was making these videos about like just different like filmmaking tips and stuff like that
Mhm.
on the YouTube channel. So whether it was watching that, of course I've seen the videos with AJ McQueen. You know, I see you shoot with a black magic. I had a black magic, so it's easy for me to spot that. But man, introduce yourself to the people by what you want them to call you and what you go by officially.
Gotcha. Well, my name is Jarvis Parson. It's actually what's crazy is a lot of people that work with me be like, "Man, what's your real name?" I'm like, "Bro, y'all be booking me, and my name is on my Instagram." but everybody calls me Spidey. So I mean, y'all can call me Spidey, whatever y'all want to call me. But my name is Jarvis Parson. I'm a videographer. I got my own brand, a videographer director. I got my own brand company, Jarvis, Spidey Webher Productions, and so yeah, you can follow me at Spidey Webher. It's SPIDIE WEBHER and then Productions. So yeah.
And we'll put all the links in the bio too. So,
Mhm.
I mean, man, we'll jump straight into it. So, one of the first things that just stood out, I'm talking about like literally the last in that intro, right? You said videographer, director.
Mhm.
Which do you prefer? Do you feel like they matter? Because I think a lot of people will say video. I personally don't like the term videographer. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody says that, if I've been on them, it doesn't bother me. But I look at it as, no, I'm a director, but I also do cinematography, videography too. But what
Right,
do you
right.
like? Do you think is that a?
Is that a
Do you feel
thing?
like that too, or does it not matter to you?
No, I completely agree. I definitely think it does matter. Um, and sometimes when people like you say when people address me as a videographer as well too, and I I typically don't bother me in general because I kind of look at it like the aspect of the level of the clientele I'm dealing with. Because certain clientele address you in a certain way because they used to dealing with that type of dealing with that type of person, whether it's a cinematographer, a director. So when somebody approach me and like, hey, I'm looking for a DP or I'm looking for a cinematographer or a director, then I know I'm dealing with somebody that's a little bit either more educated in that area. So, and I know they're not just some typical person looking for somebody to do some video. But the reason why I do still call myself a videographer because I do feel like I am one more so than I would call myself a cinematographer. I would love to be a cinematographer. I just don't have, in my opinion, don't have the necessary resources all the time to implement that side of me that I do see myself having when it comes to talent wise. But when it comes to just straight up like I got a shoot in a few weeks for a birthday, and then I got like two weddings back to back in the next few months. So, and of course, I still do music videos. I direct music videos
For
too.
sure,
So I'm a little bit in all the
kind of like
areas.
jack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to be more of a cinematographer though, because I love cinematography. Just like having an eye for it. How you were just talking about with the light coming through your window. Like you just as a cinematographer, you just have an eye for like that's cinematic as hell. Like you just know, right?
Nah, for
And yeah,
facts.
so I love cinematography. I just gotta get more into that lane, but yeah, I'm still a videographer, director. Personally, if you giving me some money, I don't care what you're calling me. But in general, it does matter though.
Nah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, as long as it's a serious client, I think for sure. Cause I'm one of those people. I mean, I started out like that too. I'm very much still like that. It's just I feel like I'm a little bit more selective, only because at this point I said, man, I'm gonna go back to having my regular job too, so I ain't dealing with y'all. So once
Right.
I went back doing that, I said, yeah, okay, now I said I'm gonna do what I like, and I'm gonna do what I feel. Let's dive into and man, we're gonna really just talk about everything. But
Yeah, yeah, for
okay,
sure.
so for me, sometimes I'll discover artists, right? Or over the years, I've discovered artists throughout Houston, and not necessarily the first person to discover them, but I say, man, this person is dope. I like to, I like this person's stuff. I want to shoot this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. What is the feeling like when you are working on a project and then you see like it come to fruition, right? So now you're looking at that final edit, because editing for me, I don't like editing, but I'll edit. But like when you see that final product, like what is that feeling like for you? What do you feel like when you put all this work into shooting this video and then you're like, damn, like I'm watching it. What is that feeling like for you?
So actually, I love it, and it brings back the kid in me on why I got into this in the first place. So it worked. I get more of that feeling when I'm dealing with a project where I have like almost all creative control, where it's like from the start to the finish, they like, hey, do your magic, whatever you tell me to do, I'm gonna just do it. And when I have that type of clientele, or I'm working with that type of client and that type of video, I mean, I absolutely love it. One of the videos that to this day I still love is it was a video where I did with AJ McQueen around the time when I first met him. It was called A Dollar Short. It was a pretty cool concept. I really liked it, and at the end of it, I mean, I just kept watching it over and over. So I really love that one. And then there's another one that was a few years ago called Stiffest by Stiff Barbie, and I'm sure you remember it because everybody know me for that video.
Is that the one where she's popping out of the when you built the wall?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
everybody know
yeah.
me for that one, right?
Nah,
So
yeah, that was some A1 work, but
yeah, I
shit, all the
appreciate
way
it.
around, like all the way
And
around.
I had full creative control in that, and that was actually inspired by Jacob Owens.
Yeah, that's one of the first people I was following. It's like 2011.
Okay, gotcha. So Jacob Owens,
Him and Cal.
yeah, him and Kyle, yeah,
Yeah,
him and Kyle, they had a video called "Really Yeah,"
yeah,
and he
yeah.
had that wall
Yeah, it
with the
had
"Really
like the
Yeah."
black, like because in your video you had the pink, and in their video
Yeah,
they had like
had
the
a
black,
black,
like
yeah. So that's what it was inspired by that. I was like, bro, I really want to try that, but I don't have the budget to do it the way he did. So I found a cheaper alternative to do it. I was like, I'm gonna have to put something together,
hmm
and I made it work. But yeah, so I spray painted it all myself, did it all
I
myself.
think you got a behind the scenes of you doing that too.
Yeah, I
Like, yeah,
do. Yeah, yeah. So it was a real tedious but real enjoyable process. And at the end of it, I mean, I fell in love with that video. To this day, that's gonna be until I do something and I top the notch on that. That's gonna be one of my most promoted videos. And I'm gonna always use a pitch to people. So yeah,
I feel like it's
I actually
definitely
love it. I
yeah.
really
No,
love
it was a it's a. I think that's an experience, right? That I think everybody needs that feeling. It don't always got to come from in our case we shoot, so we get it there too. But I feel like in life, you gotta have things that give you that same feeling. So okay, so breaking away from the videos for a second, what do you enjoy? Outside of shooting that brings you joy, or outside of working. Well, I don't like to call it working, but being creative, right? What do you like outside of it? Outside of being creative, that brings you
outside of being
joy?
creative.
Because sometimes you like, man, I don't like. I'm not messing with this camera. I know me. Like I'll usually like what's the iPhone, so I'll mess with the camera, but I might just not want to do nothing like that with it for that day. So I try to
Right.
listen to music or do different things. But what do you do that brings you that joy?
Well, that's kind of creative because I was gonna say podcast. I love podcasting. I found a second love for that, so I really do love podcasting. But outside of like being creative, just I'm a big family and friends person. I love family and friends, so I like to spend a lot of time with them. Whether it really doing whatever, whether we just kicking
You
it,
just
having
kick
a
it back.
game night, just pulling up to a spot to go eat and run our mouth for hours. Whatever. I love to run my mouth and I love to like talk about issues and sometimes debate back and forth with different ideas that people have. And that's a passion of mine. Sometimes people be like, "JP, bro, you be preaching too much," but that's just who I am. So I'm a person that's into like intelligent conversations, not necessarily intelligent as in like academic level of intelligence, because I'm not gonna sit and say I'm the smartest academically. When it comes to like wisdom and life
You like the deep
experience, and so
dive.
yeah, I like the deep dive and stuff like that. So I love psychology. I would probably be a therapist if I wasn't a videographer. I swear to God.
Nah, I think and people
Yeah,
would need that because like
yeah,
man, it's people. I feel like I'm the same way, and I feel like a lot of my homies is the same way too. My dad is definitely like that too. But do you feel like okay when sometimes people say like okay, Dan, you might be preaching too much. In that moment, are you feeling like this is something that they need to hear, so I need to get it off, or like what's your perspective on that? Because a lot of the like people have a negative connotation with like they're it's like they don't like people pushing them
right,
sometimes unless they want to be pushed, even though you could be pushing them for a positive reason. It's like people
right,
just they're like, oh, like they just I don't know. Sometimes people just be iffy,
right.
but like, do you feel like in doing that you're like helping people go to like pushing them forward, or do you feel like you're
Yes, I do, and I think it's because I think a lot of us all have that to a certain degree. Because I do. My dad called me and my dad talk religiously, all like almost every other day. We at least talk like 4 times a week at the most, right? I mean at the least. But he's always doing that to me. Every time I'm like, Daddy, I'm not in the mood for you try to tell right now. I just want to talk about little to nothing. All this trying to push me forward right now. I'm not in the mood for that right now. So I think we all have a little bit of that. It's just all about timing, perspective, and who it's coming from and how you delivering it. Because a lot of times if somebody approach me and be like, "Hey, bro, you preaching," that means either my timing is off, uh, they not in the mood for it. Because sometimes when you try to get a message through to somebody, a lot of times it's received. You receiving on both ends. So they receiving it because you giving them the information, but you receiving it because you getting that feeling of feeling like you helping somebody.
there you go.
But sometimes when you trying to receive, sometimes you so focused on getting that feeling of feeling like you want to help somebody, you're not necessarily focusing on if it's really gonna help them at the time you're trying to deliver it. So you might be trying to deliver it at this certain time, but you feel like they might need it, but at this time they not really trying to hear you out. So it's less effective at that moment. You
For
either
sure.
you find another way around it to get to it. And it takes a lot to do that. And sometimes it just ain't worth it. Sometimes you gonna be like, no, forget it. I'm just gonna downright tell you because right now you just need to hear it. But it's just how you go about doing it. Because I feel like we all have that. And I take criticism very well. Because I'm always trying to I self-reflect a lot. So when other people tell me stuff, I always feel like God talked to you through people. So I do. So when people come to me and they telling me stuff, I take criticism very well. It's just in certain aspects at certain times, I'm just not in the mood for it. And I guess when it gets to a point where you forcing it, then at that point you maybe need to try your approach and not try to focus so much on you trying to do the right thing and focus on them actually getting the information they need the way they need to get it so they'll actually implement what you're saying and not just going through one ear and not the other.
No, for sure, cause that's the worst when something falls on deaf ears.
Right.
But like you said, it's all about time and tone and number one delivery. I know I get told all the time. I probably every one of my friends will probably say that, man, your delivery sucks or your delivery y'all. And I'll be like, man, I'm working on it, but just the way God made me, so it just kind of is what it is. But I'm working on it too. So like, let's see, like, man, when did you originally pick up the camera? I know we talked a little bit about it before, but describe that first moment that you can recall of picking up the camera and saying like I'm gonna film something or I'm gonna shoot something.
Gotcha. So I don't know how old some of y'all gonna be watching
I'm an
this,
OG man. They
but right, but back in 2009, they had the jerk movement with the New Boys and
the Rangers.
the Rangers and all that. So it originated in Cali and started spreading across the nation. And back then everybody had their own little jerk crews, and make your own little videos and put them on the internet. So this is before like camera phones was really like I think like now we would have just did with our camera phone, but back then we didn't really have access to like camera phones like that. So you had to like find cameras to shoot with. So we had like point and shoot cameras. And I think my homie might have had one. I don't know who had one first, but literally point and shoot camera you could buy at Walmart for like $50, $60. And we'll
You had
record
that 480p quality,
right now for real. And so we would record our videos and then edit them and shoot them. Well, shoot them and then edit them. And I had a partner of mine that shout out to Spacely Jones. We still cool now, right? He an artist now, but he actually edited our first video, and I don't know who shot it. I don't know if I shot it. He shot it. I think he probably did. And then he had edited the first video. He had put it on like this automated editing software on the internet. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just kind of like a place and play type of edit. So you will place it in one spot, place it in another spot, place it in another spot, and it'll do the editing transitions itself. And so I always thought that was cool. I was like, bro, you gotta show me how to do that. So he showed me how to do it, and then from there, I'm always the type of person I try to like take something and turn it up a notch. Like, let me see how far I can really go with something. So I started off doing it like that. I'm like, man, what if we get an actual computer and get like an actual editing software, and like I try to edit in the editing software. So I started doing that, and I don't know if you remember that AVS where it had like the little red AVS, and then it had like some little, like it was like a little what do they call them? You know, the little
it's not a transition, not motion graphics,
but it's like a stamp that'll stay on your whole video.
Oh, like a time mark? No, a watermark.
Watermark. Yeah, it was a watermark.
From using that free trial version.
Yeah. So we had the AVS editor. It was like the free trial, and everybody knows when you see it, they have like the little red AVS with some little wording on it. So we were doing that, and you'll see through all our old videos. So I was using that to edit our videos, and then I just started leveling up from there. But that's how it started. And then a few of the friends that was in the Jerk crew, including my brother, they decided to get into doing music. So I was like, well, shoot, if I do all our dance videos, let me try to make a music video. And I spent shout out to my homeboy Joe Cruz. He let me use his camera and his computer to edit it, because he actually had, I forgot what editing software. I think it was like it was similar to like
Movie Maker?
It's similar to Movie Maker. So we was on there, and I was editing. It took me like 8 hours to edit a video I could do now in like 20 minutes.
Hey.
That's how long it took me. I was there, and I did not clock. I took no breaks. I went the whole way through. That's how dedicated I was. And then from that moment, that was his first music video. That was my first music video.
So it was actually his song.
It was his song, my homeboy Spacely Jones' song. That was my first music video I ever shot, and I think that was his first ever music video. And we posted it, and everybody loved it. They was like, man, you talented. Obviously, that shit was ass. It was ass and that was trash. But and now I can do that in like 15, 20 minutes. By the time,
so you probably can shoot it on the damn iPhone now.
Yeah, no, for real. And it would have been way better on the iPhone now, right? But everybody I said I was talented, blah blah blah, all this and that. And granted, I'm not really gifted in a lot of areas. I'm not athletic. I'm not, well, when it comes to, like, I'm a good runner, but yeah, I'm not no basketball player.
Like go to the league, like
I'm not none of that. I was a decent.
Me neither. That shit definitely skilled me.
You know what I'm saying? So when I finally found something I was like real good at, and I found my own lane and stuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna stick to this video stuff. And from there, it took off, and now here I am.
Yeah, just continue to grow with it, man. So damn. So like, do you feel like you would still be doing videos? Let's say your homie never says like, damn, man, I got this rap song, we got this camera, we got this computer, because if you look at it like early on, like that was, almost like a sign, right? Like you got this opportunity. But I always say people have choices, right? You can choose to go left or right. In that moment, you chose to, man, I'm gonna try this out. Do you feel like if that would have never happened, do you feel like you would have still found your way to the camera in the way you did in terms of like music videos and things like that?
Do I? That's a good question. I feel like maybe. I feel like this would have took a little longer, because I feel like maybe if we continue dancing, I feel like if he didn't reach out, somebody probably would. Like, man, listen, I wanna. It might not have been a music video, but it might have been something else. Like, hey, I want to do blankety blank. Can you make a video for me? And I probably would have tried to do it, especially if they offered me some money. So I think I might have, possibly, but I think because of that, it took me in the music video lane. And now I tell people now, even though music videos is very saturated now, and if you ain't in a certain area, it's very hard to make a living off of it. But because I love it so much, I don't think I would ever like completely stop doing it. I'll probably be 50 years old if somebody hit me and say, "Hey, I want you to direct the music video for me." I'm gonna still do it because I just love it so
Especially
much.
if the song is heat.
Right, and so is he?
If the song is heat and they got a
Yeah,
vision, like, cause that music video just, I don't know, it just, especially growing up watching like BT, MTV. I know like
right,
my style of videos. Uh, I don't really think I got no style, but I know the style in my head that I've always tried to create, like the look I've always went after was always BT jams and MTV, cause or even
gotcha.
106 and Parks. That's what I always saw. That's what I always wanted to do. I said, now if I make it look like that, I'm doing something. So like,
Right.
okay, so now, okay, time goes on and you are doing different types of videos. What is your favorite type of visual content to create in this moment? Like what do you like creating the most? Because you talked about, weddings, dance videos, music videos, and I'm sure, and even videos like YouTube content. But like, what's your favorite type of video to make, like right now?
Music videos still. I was just saying music videos, and the type of music video would be like a very not animated as in like an actual animation, but like
High
very
energy.
yeah, like high energy, kind of like you know how TDE makes their music videos,
Oh yeah, they're
like very
yeah,
creative and like out of the box. That would be
very
my
cinematic.
idea. Yeah, yeah, stuff
Almost
like
like
that.
mini movies.
Yeah, yeah. So I love out of the box type of videos that's different from like average. So if I would say out of all the content I make, making a like a out of the box music video with a budget,
You gotta say
uh
that because I don't think artists, man,
yeah.
love hate relationship with artists, but I don't think artists realize sometimes, like, number one, being an artist is you're a business, but number two, the higher, like, the better you want your stuff, the more you got to put into it, which could be
Right.
budget or anything. Like you got to have a nice little. You can do a lot with even a little budget, but you
Right,
got to have a
right.
budget.
You gotta have a budget, yeah, because I've seen people do get really creative outside of having a budget, but it takes more work out of the director because now he gotta find ways to go about creating something dope that don't consist of really spending no money, and then you gotta worry about not making it look like nobody else. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like no Cole Bennett special effects all over the place
I
type
hate
dude.
motion
Yeah,
graphics.
yeah.
That's
I'm
what I tell
not.
artists, bro. They ask me that. I say I don't do that.
Yeah,
I
I
said if you
don't do
want me to
that.
do it, yeah, pay a big hefty fee and I'll go find somebody else
Yeah,
to
he
do
has
it.
to do it right because I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it
not.
takes people don't realize how much. Like even when you shoot a video, it says 24 frames in a second. People don't
Right.
realize you're doing these effects. You're doing it 24 times per second.
Per
So watch the
second.
whole
Yeah.
video. It's a
Right.
reason these guys, like people, especially it's a reason motion graphics designers get paid the way they do.
Yeah, it's very time consuming and very takes a lot of talent and detail, especially when you want to talk about making certain effects. If you talking about like actual visual effects, not just throwing like colorful effects everywhere. When you talking about actual visual effects, now you got to worry about like the effects matching the lighting of the
Hmm.
set of how they shot it. So it just takes a lot of detail, a lot of like knowing how it's supposed to look, and like you say, it's very time consuming, like 24 times per second. And that's if you're not shooting a movie that's like that got a higher frame rate for like certain action movies and certain action
Like
scenes. They be bumping the frame rate to make it more jittery so it can look like it's more intense. So then you got
literally,
75 times per second.
yeah, like
Like
that shit is
it's crazy.
it's annoying, but I mean, and it's crazy because when I first was doing videos, like when I was using my dad's work computer, I remember the computer had 30 gigabytes of data, like of what's the hard drive, right?
Mm.
So I would download the program, make the video, but it didn't have enough space to save it. So I would just be doing random ass motion graphics, and it's crazy because when I look at videographers now, like the first thing that tells me they're a beginner is I'll watch the video and just see a bunch of effects just plastered everywhere, and I say,
Yeah.
"Dang, bro, you just trying anything, huh?" Because I
Trying
feel like
to
everybody did that. Like you
right.
started out like, "Oh man, this look cool, this look cool." I'm putting 30 different effects on there, and then you realize, like, you know what?
It
These
don't make no
effects need
sense.
to, yeah, it don't make sense. They need to fit some kind of way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but okay, so what's been would you say the Stiff Barbie video was like your absolute favorite video to work on? Or do you have something that beats that in terms of like a video? that you just truly enjoyed, working on, whether it was because of the artist or what would you say is your most, yeah, not most recognizable video, your most prized video. You know what I'm saying? The one that you say like you hold near and dear to you, like the experience or whatever it was about that video. What's your most prized, beloved video that you feel like you know what I'm saying, directed, produced, edited?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I shot so many videos. I done shot over my course of doing music videos. I probably done shot over like 600 videos. I done shot so many, probably more than that for all I know, right? Even just the little ones in between. But I would probably still say that's the Barbie one, only because mainly because I pushed myself, not because of the video itself, but I pushed myself to a limit I didn't think. After I was done with it, I looked back at myself and I'm like, I can't believe I did this. Like I cannot.
I mean, that
I
shit was
built that
fire
shit,
though.
but like I cannot.
That was
believe,
BTMTV. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like I really could not believe I put that together like that. It's of course it's other videos too that I hold near to me based off either the way I edit it or some of the concepts. But I think overall because of the creative direction I did with it, the lighting was pretty cool. Um, the set design,
bro, the
how
skin
I did
tones
that,
like look good.
you
Like
know, the
it was
color was
natural. Like I mean,
good.
I definitely. I don't feel like that's the first video I've seen, but I definitely like remember that video. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like for sure. So I can understand that. You would say like, what was that experience like working with her? Because like you got different types of artists, right? Some
Yeah.
artists hella creative, they might be annoying. Some artists are hella creative, they cool. Some people. Bottom line, some people are difficult to work with, and some are not. What was that experience like on that particular video? Would you say she was easy to work with? Because I think when you mentioned it earlier, you said you had the full credit control. You're able to go
Yeah.
in and which some artists do not be cool with that. I don't care if they spending
Right.
$200 or zero, they want to put 2 cents in it.
Right.
But what was
Right.
that like experience like just working with her? Like she was just like, yeah, just I trust you, do your thing, or did it take like some pushing? Like this is what I want to do. Are we gonna put up this wall? We gonna get these? I think I had foam panels. I can't remember. I seen you
Yeah,
posted
it
them
was
from
like phone
Home
panel.
Depot. Like I just got a
Yeah.
details, but like was that it was easy to get her to be on board with that, or was she like
Yeah, it was. It was. She so the thing with her, right? I crazy thing is I shot her first music video. So
see that
she
relationship?
so yeah, so we prior to that video we've been knowing each other for a few years already. So I shot her first music video and then as time went on she started doing her own thing and then so because of that first video I think she had like a type of trust in me to know like man I like you shot my first video and I like how you did it. Anything you do, like I ain't gonna lie, as crazy as the way she looks on Instagram, you would think she's somebody difficult to deal with, and she really not. I'm gonna be dead honest. Like she probably one of the most chillest, laid back people I've ever had to work with. Like Liz, she don't push back on nothing I say. Like it is cool, and I respect that because I feel like you get the best result when you don't push back on anything I say. And I'm not trying to sound big headed.
Nah,
but I feel like
that's facts.
but people will see that video and they be like, bro, I want that. Then when I try to implement that in their video, they got so much pushback. And I'm the type, after you push back so much, it's your money. Get what you want.
Yeah, you do what you want.
Do what you want to do. Because I'm not about to stress myself out, keep pushing back. This what you want, you gonna get it.
Yeah.
But if you don't get the result that you were looking for, don't get mad because you didn't let me do what I was supposed to do. And she don't give me no pushback. She is really one of the easiest people to work with. And she real down to earth. I mean, I know it don't look like it on Instagram. It can kind of feel like she high maintenance. And she probably is, but at the core, she real down to earth. She cool.
Man, it's crazy you say that because like, yeah, bro, working with women artists, like
that's
working with
thing.
men artists is one thing, but working with women artists, bro, it's usually more difficult.
And that's another thing. I've never had to, because especially dealing with women, no shot at women, but dealing with women, a lot of times, they really care about they features on how they look.
Hey,
like, oh, this is my bad side.
I've been told you get in my left side, I'm like, yo, both sides look completely identical.
Right.
A woman will see something that you did not know was there. I've been, man.
Yeah, they will. But the thing with her is and I guess that shows true confidence. I've never had. She never came to me and be like, "Hey, Spidey, I don't like the way I look in this shot. Can you take?" She's never done that. Maybe because she just got pure confidence on how she looked that she just don't care. Like, because a lot of people low key do be insecure about the way they look in certain aspects, and maybe it's a sign of confidence that she just don't care. So it's like, because I've never had to like go back and it's like, oh, she didn't like that angle. Let me switch it out. I
Hey
never had to
man,
do
cause
that. So
I've definitely been told to
I have too, but
delete.
it's just with her, no. So it's
Man,
crazy.
that's a blessing. So that's a
Yeah.
positive experience, I would say. So what are like maybe like your top three pet peeves when shooting music videos, working with artists? Like it could be, really anything, but 'cause I could think of a ton. But what would you say are like a couple of pet peeves just when you're working,
Hmm.
aside from an artist pushing back? Because that could be one for sure.
Uh, most of it is okay. I would say not being direct. Not being okay. Micromanaging. I don't like artists that micromanage. You hired me to do a job, let me do my job. I get it though, because I know some people are perfectionists, so I get it. This is your art, so I understand. But and I feel like some people will hire certain people if they feel like they can micromanage. Like, oh, like I could work with such and such, but if I know I work with them, they're not gonna let me do it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me work with you because I feel like you'll let me micromanage it, and I hate that. Like I say, not being clear on what you want. I've had people that I work with that that generally they wouldn't have a problem with nothing, but then they'll go pitch, they'll go show the stuff to other
There
people,
you go.
and then other people will edit the video for them,
Come
like
back with a
not
list,
necessarily edit it, but they'll be like, "Hey, bro,
bro.
you
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 looking kind of
you
weak
look
right
kind of
there.
weird in that one. Oh, you sure you like that angle?" They thought it was fun, but now
Yo,
I'm doing revisions for other people and not for you. I hate that. So it's like either you not confident in what you like, or you need to figure something else out. Because I hate that. And I don't know. I'm pretty patient. I'm a real patient dude. So you get on my nerves, you really suck. Dang, I don't know.
nah, cause that's a good one. Like even like man, them revisions. I know I'll do like 3 revisions if the artist is super cool and
Mhm.
it's on minor, I go beyond to make sure it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I mean, I'm editing the video now. Like I sent the video, he like, okay, sent that mud to the group chat. Hey, 8 things. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna do this in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it right now. I got
Right.
time for this. But I think being an artist, being any type of creator, being any type of entrepreneur requires the highest level of confidence. Like,
Right.
so like, man, do you ever feel like when sharing your work, like you like, damn, like maybe somebody not gonna mess with this, or are you at the point where you say like, man, I don't care who rocking with it, this is what I do. But like, have you ever put something out and you like, damn, maybe this didn't do what I thought it was gonna do?
It has. I put out work and I thought that it was gonna I thought that from my perspective, because I'm the type when before I hit export, I go through it a bunch of times. I'm like, all right, I'm satisfied with it. So when I send it off, I'm thinking like, man, if I'm satisfied, because
You
I ain't
finna
gonna
get them
lie,
fire emojis back.
yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm expecting, right? I do get a little anxious, like, man, it's been a day, I ain't heard nothing,
I say, bro, you
right?
dropping the video still? Like,
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I do. Dang, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Yeah. It's been times where I've felt maybe a little, not less confident, because I very rarely when it comes to video work that I don't feel confident about what I'm doing. But I do feel I would more so say anxious about how they would
just people
feel about it. Yeah.
receiving it. Like,
Yeah.
have you been feeling like pressured to produce more vertical content since like everybody always got their phone and you see all of these apps implementing, like even on Instagram? I mean, it's weird, right? Because some people on Instagram, you can post a video, it'll do the wide, but when I post, it makes me like it always like only vertical, so it'll be black bar. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
fuck
I
it,
hate that.
I gotta just straight post vertical mode now. But have you been feeling like, damn, I need to make more vertical content due to the way social media, the way they're adjusting like the video aspect ratios and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
I would say so, but I ain't gonna lie, I actually like it. Cause it just expands on like, okay, cause you know what I've learned that I learned to love. I know everybody is a gimbal lover. I have really my favorite film equipment is my tripod. I would use a tripod first before I even do handheld. I love, and I think because of that, maybe because of vertical, it forces me like I'm gonna try not to get too off what you was
No,
asking, but
you can go, man, because
um,
I haven't touched my gimbal in well over a year, so I
yeah,
know exactly what you're
you know
saying.
what I'm saying. So I always say like my what I love about my tripod, it forces me to make the shot look good. Whether I need to add more to it, take more away, position it a certain way, it forces me to decorate the shot like it's a photo, and then shoot a dope video based off of photo type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So I love my tripod, and it makes it easier for me to do more vertical stuff with my tripod.
Yeah, because that gimbal and vertical, yeah, it ain't
Yeah, that's
going.
not a good friend.
I mean,
Yeah.
with some of the gimbals, like maybe the third DJI Ronin, like it has like you can vertical do it,
Oh,
but
right,
see,
right.
depending on how you rig out your camera, that's obsolete. Like that's not even an
Yeah,
option.
that's not even an option.
That's not even an option. So man, I'm 1,000% there with you. And honestly, if you watch like just, I think a lot of the times, filmmakers, directors, videographers, especially coming from the music video space, because it's so easy for to get like pigeonholed over here, pigeonholed. When you're watching movies, it is a combination of multiple shots that produce a movie or that produce a music video. Like you might use gimbal, might use tripod,
Right.
might use drone. You might, different angles. That's what makes it together. I think a lot of the times, like especially when I see a lot of the people doing videos now, even when I was using the gimbal, I always wanted to make it not look like I was using the gimbal. People use the gimbal now. They just in your face. Like I call it cheap keep style, true run and
Gotcha.
gun. Like that's what
Yeah.
it is. But like, man, so using the tripod, right? So okay, now if I'm wrong, you let me know. But from peeping your setup, you shooting on one of the Black Magics. I don't know if it's a 6K or the 4K.
It's a four.
So like, what camera did you have before that? And like, cause the Black Magic for me that was like my first cinema camera. And that camera, I ain't gonna lie, that mother piped me up for sure. Like that one, I say, yo, this when I bought that, I was like, this that was my best investment at that time. Like,
Mm.
but what camera did you use before that, and how do you like it compared to the Black Magic?
So I used to have, yeah. So y'all know the Lumix G7.
G7 for sure.
Yeah. So it wasn't the G7. It was like a half grade above it. I think it was the G80 or something like that.
G85 maybe.
Yeah, G85. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
G85. Yeah. And so that was the camera I had, and I was shooting. I mean, majority of my work came from there, and I loved it. It was a lot better than the Rebel series of Canon.
Oh yeah, the Canon.
So, because that's where I came from that. So, because I don't buy cameras often, right? So I went from the Canon Rebel, I think T5i, and then I went to the Lumix G85, and then I went to the Black Magic 4K, and I love, like I said, I love the G85. It helped me with more of that 4K at
No,
24
that
frames
first
and
jump to
stuff.
4K is
It
always
is awesome. Yeah.
everybody remember that moment.
Yeah, facts. So from that moment, like I said, I love cinematography. So I was like, man, I want me a cinema camera. I'm tired of the DSLR, and now I still like when I do videos, I hate the DSLR look. So I even got like a diffusion
Like
filter
a
on my
ProMis.
lens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a ProMis. But I don't have the ProMis one, but I have a
Yeah, cause see, it's crazy because at one point in time, ProMis were like, and I think maybe Hollywood Magic were the only two companies that made them. But now you got really several companies
several
that.
companies. Yeah,
That's why it's better for people getting into it because now you ain't gotta just get this. You can literally get it
right.
shit damn near half off depending on where you're buying it from.
Right. So yeah, I love the cinema look. So I was like, I gotta give me a cinema camera. So I got that Black Magic, and man, I was like, man, and to this day I still love the way it looked. I would love to upgrade. Do I feel like I need to? No, because my clientele don't really cause for me to. But I would like to though, but it wouldn't be the smartest thing to do at the moment, right? But I always wanted to be a red owner. I've always wanted to own my own red. I still haven't done that yet, but eventually, depending on where my business goes, that would be something I hopefully I'll do. But yeah, I love the cinema look. So even like now, like I said, I got that filter, the diffusion, and to get rid of some of that sharpness because I hate the DSLR look. Like unless it calls for that, like I said, I'm doing a little birthday party or something. That's cool. But when I'm doing cinematic pieces, or if I'm doing a video that I want to look cinematic, I'm throwing that on there. I might add a little bit of more softness to the video in post just to give it more of that hazy
that cinematic look. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize, like, and that's one of the main things I noticed about the Black Magic when I had first got mine. The difference between cinema to DSLR. Cinema is going to do a softer image off rip, and softer image, it's like when you watching movies, it's always softer, so it registers in your mind as cinematic, and you put the filter on that mud, you can really tweak it. But man, it's crazy you said that, like wanting to get the red, and because like I think one of the things, and sometimes I have this problem too, man, so many new cameras coming out. I be diving down the rabbit hole, and I probably don't keep some cameras as long as I need to. But the ones I really like, I'll keep. But man, so in that feeling of like, damn, like I want this, but I don't need it. That's discipline, right? Because it's several times when I didn't unload it and said, all right, we just gotta get one, and then we're gonna have to rebuild later. But man, how do you like make those choices to, hey, like I want it, but I'm not gonna buy it right now?
So I think that's just a trait that I have. It's just in who I am as a person. I'm the type of guy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm like that in all the aspects of my life. So my relationship, I've been in a relationship for like 6 years. We
about to be married.
You know what I'm saying? We just made 6 years in January.
Congratulations. No, that's major.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in this era with like Instagram.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm like, if it's broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. With my apartment, I am very much ready to move into a house. I'm like right now with the market the way it is.
Market's terrible.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm holding off. And I've been living in my 1-bedroom apartment for the past like 4 years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I would have still had my car, but it got broke, so I had to fix it to get something else. So I'm like that with everything. So my camera, like, until I feel like it's a necessary need. If I ain't having people hit me up talking about, hey, bro, I want to shoot on the red, or hey, bro, I want to. And all the clientele I work with, and not one person said, man, if you had a red, though, it would have looked better. No. I ain't never had nobody tell me that. No, so thanks. I'm like, I ain't going to spend the money if I ain't got to. Now, if I'm getting a clientele where a red is more beneficial, where I'm working with more businesses, or I mean, really a red for weddings is overkill. But if you want to do that, you
any
can do
cinema
that.
for weddings, I think is overkill. But people,
but
I mean, people, because at the end of the day, bro, camera, especially my first camera was a Nikon D31. I didn't even get a Canon first. I didn't know Canon was better for videos. I bought the Nikon, and like, I think, man, cameras, especially where we are now, it's just you just go with what you like, because you can damn near get the same image out of. Now unless we talking like a Aria or something like that, ain't nobody finna spend up $50,000 on the camera.
Right.
Rent it because we making a movie for $1 million, yeah, but ain't no like.
Yeah,
if God bless me in a position to buy one of them, then I don't know what God doing. Like, I know He will. I see you, God, but he just like taking me to the candy store and saying, "Hey, buy the whole candy store at this point."
Right.
I don't need it, but if He allow me, like,
right,
I would definitely get it. So like, okay, man. So and that's a good mentality to have, though. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, because people overthink a lot of stuff. What would you say, like, getting away from music videos a little bit? I watch a lot of movies. I feel like I draw a lot of inspiration from movies, from conversations, listening to albums, all type of stuff. Like my parents, like I draw inspiration from everything around me. What would you say is like your all-time favorite movie?
This is gonna be bad because I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of movies or TV. So
man, so if you're not watching a lot of movies or TV, I'm trying to think. When you're not working, what you doing?
Podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
So you're not watching them. You listening to them.
I'm listening to them.
Damn. See, I'm straight watching.
Yeah, I do. I listen to a lot.
What's your favorite podcast then? Or favorite top 2 or 3? Because there's a lot of podcasts now. You got sports podcasts, wellness podcast. They got dating podcasts. They got freaking. I mean, you can consider Twitch a podcast. It
Yeah,
depending on how you
yeah.
look at it.
So I'm on YouTube a lot, so I listen to a lot of dating stuff and a lot of like black, pro black stuff.
So
So
like, are we talking like let me see how black we talking. We talking Tariq Nasheed,
yeah,
like
Umar
that level black.
Johnson, right? No, one of the guys I listen to, he talks about them a lot, and I don't necessarily listen to
We
like
talking
Tariq
brother Ben.
Nasheed.
Like where we going?
Nah. So like, let's see, so like, cause I don't listen to Umar Johnson, cause I halfway like I like him, but I feel like he talk too much, and he
I
talk
mean,
more than
sometimes
he do.
okay, yeah,
He
talk more than he do.
I love his theory and I love what he stand for. He don't put a lot of action behind what he talk
Yeah,
about.
man, he said he got
Tariq
two.
Nasheed do though, and I think that's a problem why they don't get along so well. Because Tariq Nasheed, if he say something, he gonna do it, you know. But the guy that I listen to the most, y'all probably won't be familiar with him. His name is O'Shea Duke Jackson, and he talks a lot about like men issues, but he's very pro black. So he talks about like black people building, wanting black people to build they own Wakanda type, like in a way that like black people we need to stick together so we can start empowering each other, like how these other races do, how Asians build for their own communities, Hispanics build for their own communities, of course whites do that, and feel like us blacks, not saying to be isolated, no, but to take that same type of formula that these other communities do and implement that within ourselves, whether that, Pan Africanism, all type of that, for us to build our own communities where we got just as much power as the rest of them. So I listen to him almost every day, like no cap.
Do you feel like I mean, in listening to that type of content, right? Because I feel the same way to a certain extent, for sure. Do you feel like black people are not together right now, or are we just not as together as we should be?
I feel like we are, but I feel like we aren't as together as we should be when it comes to. Here's how I feel.
Yeah, give us that raw perspective, because it's a lot of layers to why people not like that. But so, I'm curious.
So this gonna get controversial as hell, but hey, that's who I am, right? So I do feel like we are to a degree, but I do feel like as of right now, black men and black women need to kind of get on the same page.
I think you dropping a bomb.
I think right now we have a hard time getting on the same page, and I do feel like black women have a little bit more say so in the black community, and because of
like
that,
controlling like the voice of the
black community, yeah. So and because of that, which is good and bad that comes with that. Women know how to stick together. I feel like a little bit more in comparisons to men. I feel like men are a little bit more individualized, territorial. And I think women kind of like, and this is gonna sound bad, but it's a good into that. But I feel like women have more of a herd like thinking. And it's gonna sound bad, but
I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
though.
but
it's genius though.
But it is though, because women do better at supporting each other's businesses.
I mean, think about it. If somebody go off right now on Twitter, all the black women finna like.
If something happens to a black woman on Twitter,
it's going down right now.
Women gonna be at their necks. They not gonna let that shit slide. Men are a little bit more forgiving. They'll be like, if something happens to a black man on Twitter or something. This is excluding police brutality, because I think we all on the same page.
We're on the same page for sure.
So when I talk about police brutality is
we're talking about like even like how. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example, but like a lot of stuff just be dividing black men, black women.
Yeah, and I feel like because of that, we not on the same page. So we, which is okay for us to feel differently, but when it comes to us versus other people or whatever, we need to be on the same page. And not always trying to tear each other down for the sake of other people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we have a little problem. And I think black men have a problem at that when it comes to, because we so individualized that like if we think differently, we won't be like, if you don't think like me, like forget you. Like I don't want to deal with you. Compared to women don't necessarily operate like that. They might not agree with each other on all the same platforms, but they still realize you a black woman, I'm a black woman, so it's us versus everybody else. And
Literally,
and I feel like if the whole black community had that as a whole, then we'll do a whole lot better, as in like
for sure.
supporting each other and stuff like that,
I'm,
and
I
growing
think
as
so
community.
too. Like, I think like, cause even if you just to like just piggyback on like the black men, black women, like if you think like Section 8, welfare, all of these
Mm-hmm.
like government incentives, or how like to be eligible for some of these programs, you can't have like a man in the household, right?
Right.
So I feel like a lot of that is there. It's like past trauma, and now we like in the present day where it's like, because we got to be real, black women are more educated than black men right now, and I
Right.
know a lot of educated people on both sides, but the women, they running it. Like I was talking to my
Yeah.
homie earlier, like it's a lot of successful women out here, and I think now you incorporate that success, and maybe something's going on with this dude to where like that, like all like people use all of those as barriers as to why they can't be on the same page or why they're not on the same page, and really it's about taking the positives and negatives from every situation and just putting the positives together. But like you said, a lot of people have this, well, especially black men, like, well, especially men in general, but especially we black, so we gotta.
Right.
That's what we gotta, speak on. It's like, shoot, we don't got the same view. We just like, okay, peace out. We over here, and like,
Right.
it's just interesting though, because I feel like society definitely goes harder at black people across the world,
Right.
and I feel like that's contributed to a lot of the problems that we seeing today. But I don't think a lot of people necessarily look at it that way. I think it's
Right.
more like, yo, I'm on Twitter. She support Meg. He say he support Tory. So now we just not on the same page.
Yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
like the rift has already been. That's just where
Right.
it's at. It's like, oh, you don't support black women, and then you got one dude saying like, well, what if he innocent, right? Now, of course, he got convicted. He's just an example, but you see that a lot. It's like
Right.
either you're on this side with me or you're not.
Not.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where social media has kind of divided people,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And I think one of the key traits, and it might sound cliche, but I genuinely believe in it. I feel like one of the key traits that, like how you were saying, black women are more educated black men, and they killing it, and I respect that. Like if we live in an American society where opportunities are all over the place and success is all over the place, women are doing what they're supposed to do to keep killing it. I respect that. But I do feel like men sometimes have a harder time because we lack uh active fathers in certain positions. You know what I'm saying? And like active fathers that know what they're doing. Because some
Yeah.
men are there, but they just as bad as the they just kids that grew up into men, right? But
Yeah.
they fathers, but they not teaching progression for
Yeah,
us
like
as
a real
people.
dad,
Yeah,
like
like a
not
real
somebody who just had
dad.
a
Yeah,
kid. Like,
and I feel like we lack fathers to teach boys. Like I see it all the time where like men aren't because I'm a general believer that men need to protect and provide for women. And then despite how successful women get, as a man, you need to do your job to just keep up or be, because as men we build, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like if the men not building, you have a society that's gonna be very hard to maintain. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why other ethnicities stay at where they are, because those men are still building for their communities. And as black men, because we so individualized and because either we ain't had a father in our house to teach us how to hey, as a black man, I might not agree with everything you say or might not believe in everything you stand on, but as a black man, we need to build for our communities. Ain't nobody else gonna do
yeah, we
that.
got to work
And
together.
because we don't have a lot of men that think like that because they ain't have a father around,
You got a lot of
it's
men
like
thinking like women,
exactly,
or
yeah,
not necessarily thinking like women, but being overly emotional,
overly emotional to
which
where
causes us to now we rifting.
right,
Like,
and now we want to pull out guns instead of hash stuff out as men and like, hey, you got a family you need to go home to. I
I
got a
got a
family
family
I
to
need
go
to go
home.
home
Yeah,
to. I'm not gonna take you away from your family. The police are already trying to do that. So why am I trying to help? Why I'm trying to assist them in doing that when I know you got yo? Like I always say, bro, raise your kids because I don't want your kids to grow up and rob me. You know what I'm saying?
nah, for
So
real.
it's like as men, we need to do that. And like, I'm a strong advocate in protecting black women, being there for black women, and being there for our communities. But if we don't have men that know how to settle their differences and put aside, like you say, men are nowadays are more emotional. It's like, oh man, I might be down bad. I know this job can pay me X amount of dollars. I might not want to do it, but I know I need to do it to put my family in a certain
Yeah, to
situation.
put your
We got
foot
too many
ahead.
men out here like, man, I don't want to. Fuck, like I don't want to.
I ain't working.
I always tell people, boy, if picking up horse shit is gonna provide for my family, I'm gonna pick up some fucking horse shit. Then I don't care.
I mean,
And
you
it's
gotta
like
be
we
willing
don't
to
have
put
no
in
men
the
that think
work.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like
it's a lot. I mean, man, we 2023 right now, right?
right.
And I don't like blaming everything on social media, but goddamn, like it's a lot of people that don't believe in working.
Yeah.
When I mean, it's people. Do you feel like and just in that mindset of building, protecting, providing? Do you feel like are you one of those people that feels like, damn, like I gotta just do my creative thing to make money, or are you like, shit, I'll do this and do that? I do them at the same time because some people feel like they can't do both.
So I do both. I have a day job that I work at, and then on my off days, and even sometimes when I get off work,
Yeah, when you're not working for them, you're working
for myself.
yeah.
And I look at it as more like I can't pass down my job, but I can pass down a business. I can pass down a legacy,
skill set, a
and
mindset.
a mindset, and my videography and my video work allows me to meet people and do things that like I would like. I've been to Africa. I shot a wedding in
A lot
Africa.
of people ain't been. I ain't never been
You know
there.
what I'm saying? So I've done a lot of things video wise that I've never like thought possible. And I ain't grow up with money like that. I grew up in a low income area where it wasn't a lot of income at. So for me to be able to do those things is contribute to my talent. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be able to grow that and be able to either pass that down or me and my dad always talk about all the time. We gonna change the legacy of the Parson last name, and we wanted to where like people like, oh, you a Parson? Oh, you know you got money. That's me and my dad trying to work
mentality
on
to have, though.
and to be able to grow that and to build that legacy and pass that down. So he doing it his ways. I do it in my ways, but we on the same page. So.
No, literally, I was just talking to my dad about that, about how important it is to. Or he was telling me, that's why you got to set goals because goals keep you moving ahead and keep you progressing throughout life. Man, do you feel like being that you've been in a relationship 6 years, do you feel like how was the support of having a black woman on your side too, in terms of on your creative journey? Like, was she like always supportive? Was it something that like did it have to get to a point where she's like, okay, he's serious about this, or was it like just from the gate, oh, you got the camera, well, shoot, go be the best? Like, what is that like? Because sometimes and the reason I ask that is because sometimes you have women who like kind of make people feel like they got to choose, right? It's me or this, because shooting videos that takes up time, and plus, like you said, you got a day job too. So, which I do too, which I encourage people to do. You know what I'm saying? Until you can get the money the way you want it to be, but it takes away a lot of your time, right? So, do you feel like you had to choose, or she was always like just supportive in what you wanted to do? Because everybody is not supportive.
Right.
Well, not supportive in the same way, I should say. Right.
Right. Because they looking for what they get out of it.
You gotta have them date nights every Thursday. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. This is all God. I got lucky. My girlfriend is actually a photographer. So I never had that issue. So no, granted, I do, even though I do video work, it do still take a lot of time when we can't always do stuff. But it was always an understanding because she kind of understand the field. Like I use her lenses all the time to shoot. Like I think I own like one lens. The rest of them is all hers, right? So she always been supportive. We even got a wedding package that we do together where I do the videography and she do the photography. So like we always was kind of always on the same page. So that helped out a lot. So she always do all the pictures, like 90% of the pictures on my Instagram of me, she took them. So
that's a winning combination.
Yeah. So it was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little privileged in that area compared to most people because I never really had that issue so much. But if I did, she just gonna have to deal with it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm building for us anyway. So. Yeah. But also with her being black, a lot of the situations that go on in the world dealing with black people, we both coexist and we both understand. So we both got the same idea of how we want to raise our kids if we I don't have kids, yeah, we don't have kids, but when we do have
Just
kids,
like the
I really
future
want,
life that you see for yourself.
yeah. So we both on the same page with that. So
No,
it's all good
that's
and
a
good.
dub because it's a lot of people that can't say that. You know, I
Mhm.
always say if you're passionate about what you're doing, usually people will respect it and
Right.
encourage you to do it. But I'm like, if you just talking about something you want to do, you ain't doing it. You can't expect people to really see. You can't expect people to really see. You about to say something? Oh,
Mhm.
oh, I thought you, bro. I thought you just needed to walk outside or something. But oh,
Hey, bro, you mind doing me a favor and hit and stop the
bro,
recording? If
I'm
it's still
surprised you got that
recording,
much space.
man. I got the 1 terabyte. That's the max. Is it still recording? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yo,
Okay,
hey,
yeah, that much.
I should have got the 1 terabyte because
Yeah, I got the 1 terabyte.
you
That
needed
mug.
dealing with the
Yeah,
damn
because with
iPhones.
me doing videos and stuff, I be wanting all my videos to fit on my phone. I need that.
See, I be
max
deleting
space.
them, but I be feeling like that too, man. So okay, in your relationship, did you man? So when you met your girl, did she have a camera? Or was that something she picked up after you? Like,
No,
or
she was already a
so you
photographer.
seen you was like so you scoped out. You like, oh, this could be a working match, or it just
So
happened to
this how it
match.
happened. So my boy's basically been rocking with me for a
So he the
long
real
time.
plug.
Yeah, so she went to blend with him. They went to blend together. And one day we was in Sugarland, and I was like, I just said it out loud. I was like, man, it'd be cool if I had a girl that did something similar to what I was doing. He was like, bro, I know this girl, she a photographer, she a real cool girl, man. Like, you should probably like,
Shoot
hit
your
her
shot.
up. So yeah, so he gave me an Instagram, and I shot my shot, and that's kind of how it went from there.
Nah, that
So,
they.
yeah.
I mean, that was smooth sailing all the way around. Then, so
Yeah.
okay, like, man, have you ever had a vision? I don't know if you've ever. Well, I'm sure you've seen Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen like Napoleon Dynamite?
No. No, yeah, I have. I think so.
You gotta watch those. I want to say it's the same director, but it's like a couple, right? It's like a married couple. Like, have you ever had that? Like, because I always say all the time, like, man, if I had a girl that was in the cameras, I probably would have one of them couple YouTube channels, and I feel like I'd be running it up, doing all that type of stuff. Has that thought ever crossed your head? Like, man, we need to tap into this, or like,
yeah, it has. My dad told me that about 1,000 times.
yo,
Like, Jarvis, you need to do that. You and your girl need to y'all can be. And then I even told her, but I think the problem is that she's camera shy. She hates the camera. Like I can't wait the day where I see her on the podcast.
oh yeah,
Yeah, she real shy. Like
it's
really
definitely
shy.
a hump.
So
You know,
it's
people got to
something
get
she
over.
gotta get over. Yeah, but yeah, it might be something we eventually do. I spoke on it. She was down for doing it, but it's just something that we gotta like get.
You just wanted to be organic.
Yeah. So eventually we'll get there because I think that's something we should do and do. It's just find the right way to go about doing it. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I hate talking about camera stuff. I hate talking about like I another reason why I got into where I am videography wise and film wise is YC imaging. I'm a YC imaging. Like I ain't gonna say
He one of the first dudes that I discovered. Did I discover him? I feel like I was the first black person watching him in Houston. Like, because I learned so much from that dude. Like he at one point in time he's influencing me to get all the accessories. Then I realized I said, bro, you getting sponsored. I'm gonna stop.
Right,
but him though, nah, man, I respect what he's done so much. He cold. He cold. Dropped out of high school, like he cold.
That. Yeah,
they had a circle.
Yeah, they did. Him created Ryan Cotton, all them. I used to watch him back when he he had like, was it like 5,000, 10,000 subscribers when I first.
I know he made
him.
me buy the Sigma 18 to 35. Like
he
made me buy that lens. He was shooting with the what the hell he was shooting? He might have made me buy the damn A63, like GH4, GH5. Now he got that C70.
Yeah,
he's I mean, he's one of the goats.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I still watch him to this day. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but I still watch him.
He be running sales too much. Nah,
right.
I feel like every other video, like, yeah, man, I'm doing a super flash sale. Like, I say, all right, bro, drop some gems, but it's like, I get it. He done put in that work for real, and he's a family man too.
Right.
So it's very respectable. And then, like I say, him dropping out of high school is crazy to me. But the fact that he's achieved success doing that, I say, yo, it speaks to the type of person you are. So.
Yeah, no.
But now, and they from
Virginia,
small town in Virginia too.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta respect that because you're not even at least in Texas, we you know, there's a million people, million plus here from
Right.
Dallas to Houston, Austin. It's people everywhere, so you can see a lot,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But
He
I learned a
definitely.
lot from his channel.
Yeah, me too. And he definitely created a system where he don't really need clients to live off of. He made money around videography
Mm-hmm.
instead of straight directly through it. Of course, he make money with his clients,
Because
but
him and Jacob Owens, they're similar, but like two different types of like
right,
styles. Because Jacob Owens, he's to me, he like a business magnet. He's like a monster.
right,
He moving like you would expect somebody like that to move. And YC's achieving heights too, but doing it like in a like almost a completely different way.
right. So it's definitely dope. So, and I realize I hate talking about filmmaking on videos, like making videos
It's like no
talking about
reviews, no
like,
lens
so
reviews.
you should buy this lens or this video was that. I hate doing
This
it. I
video is
thought I
sponsored
really
by
liked this.
Squarespace. Nah.
Yeah, I don't. So I realized if I ever do, I'm more of a podcaster. Like
You talk
doing
about
this,
relevant topics.
yeah, relevant stuff.
Yeah.
That's I enjoy doing that if I'm gonna do it. I realize I don't. I love videography and filmmaking, but I hate talking about it on like I don't mind talking about it like one on one. But I hate making videos like I can't
It
be a
seemed kind of
YC
forced.
energy.
Like yeah,
It seemed forced
it
as
seemed
hell.
forced,
That's
and it's
not what
crazy
I like
because
to talk
he's
about.
he don't even. It's like he does it, but he's got his own little style, right?
Yeah.
But like when a camera come out, something come out, you go down YouTube. It's dudes, everybody got the same, right? They got the light.
Right.
They got one aperture light that they promoting that's gonna be beaming at them.
Right.
They gonna say, "Yeah, man, this is the lens you should get for this reason."
Yeah.
Like it is
I hate talking about it.
interesting.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not intrigued when it comes to. I could not be a watch support. Shout out to him. I know he's doing it, but I could not do that. That's not. I don't find that enjoy. I would burn out super fast doing that. Like you know what? Y'all know the new lens dropped. I don't feel like talking about lenses, and that's why I realized I'm more into like a purpose. Like how we were just talking about the black community. I love talking about shit like that. Like, cause that's I want my kids to follow up on that, to push people. I genuinely love talking about that. I could talk about that forever. I could literally be
No,
in my 50s and
I'm
still
the exact
have that
same
same
way. Like,
energy.
but I
Yeah.
feel like that, like having that mentality keeps you like forward. You know what I'm saying? It's like my dad
Right.
talk about setting the goals, like cameras, especially like technology. Period. Like, man, it's here to stay. It is what it is. It's been around. It changed so fast, but it's more important stuff that's really impacting people.
Right.
You know, which is like you said, like shit that actually affects our day-to-day lives, especially within the black community.
Yeah.
So man, we can touch on some more serious topics then. You know, recently you had the teenager, he knocked on the wrong door, he got shot by the dude. Of course there's an older white man, guy got arrested. We gotta see how that's gonna play out. Luckily he survived.
Right.
But like what's your like take on things like that? Like how do you like what do you feel like is the solution, or what's a part of the solution to limit things like that from happening, whether it's police brutality or like even man, I forgot the guy's name, but the one who was Ahmaud Arbery, like
Oh yeah.
these situations, like, or even like incidents with the police. What is the solution to avoiding some of these situations, or like do you feel like, oh, it is what it is, like this just gonna happen, or is there something that people can do to like not for these situations to end differently sometimes, because sometimes you can do it all right and still go bad, but
Right. So this is gonna sound this is gonna be a little controversial too. But some people may or may not agree with me, but it is what it is. I know some people will say that you should not care. Like some people will hop online and be like, "This is why white folks laugh at us." And I know a lot of people say, "Well, why do you care about what white folks think about you?" This is the problem that people don't get, in my opinion. Other people, one of the most I'm gonna start like, one of the most successful groups that have build certain rights around them, that if you play with them, you just asking for a death
the
sentence.
LGBTQ,
You show
yeah,
right.
and I know I missed the letter, but
yeah, I know they have built that community. That community was at some point so bad where you could bash them, beat them up, and and it wasn't nothing gonna happen.
It's certain words you cannot even say right now.
It is now to the point. It's certain words you can't even say, and you just asking for prison time.
No,
and I feel like if us black people did the same, work together to build those same type, all these other groups got reparations, we didn't.
Yeah.
If I feel like we build that same type of community around ourselves, not saying racism is completely go away. I don't think it will, but people gonna think twice because people think twice when they deal with the LGBTQ
Nah,
community.
facts. Like people, yeah,
Yeah, so I felt like I'm not saying because I wait, what was his name that kid that just
uh, you talk. I know it's. I can't think of his
we
name, but
just
he
talked
cause
about
like
him on our
16, right?
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with him, some things just happen. You can't run from it. Like it was just the wrong place at the wrong
Yeah.
time. And my condolences. I'm glad he's doing well, but he couldn't avoid that. I mean, I know he went to the wrong house, but he generally made a mistake, and he just
And somebody went to 10 on him.
yeah, and went to 10 on him, and they need to throw the book at his old ass for real. But so he couldn't do nothing else. I mean, at the end of the day, it was not his fault. He just went to the wrong place, and that guy just need to throw the book at him. But by us building a community, when people see us, I want us to build a community so strong when people see us, I don't even want them to look at us the wrong way because they know it's gonna be consequences behind it. Yeah. And I feel like that is a part of the solution. That's why I say when people be like, "Why do you care what white people think about us?" Because if white people know not to play with us like that, then we build a community financially. We build a community supportively. We build a community that know that you play with us, you're gonna have consequences.
It's gonna be some consequences and repercussions. Right. And because I feel like really like, and you go around the world, and haven't been around the world, but I've been to a few different places. Like I feel like the world, like, oh bro, I was like, what's this nigga looking at? My bad, but man, I feel like people really fear black people. You know what I'm saying? Like they fear like black people really
in the wrong ways though.
Yeah, no, not fear like that. And that some people be clutching their purse, but I think people truly fear. Like they're like, man, if these people would just not only wake up, but if they realize what it really is, like I think people fear like that we'll just get them out the way. Because the way they be acting, it's like, black people, our people, right? It's like naturally faster, smarter, more innovative. Like every like box we do well. The only one I feel like we just really be sucking at is I think sometimes we could be too empathetic. And I think with other races, like we're so empathetic to where like we'll let people get away. And I feel like that's what happened with the world, right? I feel like to me the world was once, black people just killing it. Like we running it. And I feel like at some point in time we was too nice. Over time it got like kind of flipped. And now I feel like people want to keep everybody down because, like, no matter where you go in the world, like, now some places do embrace black people, but it's like it's always that, like, man, I just can't let this person come up for real, or I can't let this person, and they keep us divided. Yeah. And a lot of it is psychological now, because we do have choices. Even like you mentioned earlier, like Tariq Nasheed, right? I know my dad put me on Hidden Colors like way back. I'm pretty sure there's people that probably never seen that. Now, don't get me wrong, there's about 5 of them now. But at least watch 1 or 2 and you'll just learn so much. But even just like the mentality of like people to like push people forward, right? But our people, we so cool, like we'll give the shirt off our back to the person we don't know time and time again, when sometimes we got to pour into ourselves before we do that, if that's what we choose to do. But I think that's one of the things, like black people just very empathetic, you know what I'm saying? With every race, we gonna ride, but they don't want to ride for us.
And I think we got it down packed when it comes to emotionally. We starting to like cancel people that we don't like. We doing a good job at that, but we still not united financially enough. We need more banks. We need more businesses that have essential goods. We need stuff to where like how other races come into our hoods, put up hair salons, put up pharmacies, put up all types of stuff in our hoods. Take that money, go back to where they live and put their kids in college off our money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need to be able to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And we need to build that economical power to where like all black people kind of feel on the same page. How they did how all the Jews did Kanye. We need to have that same type of, but people feel like it's no real consequence outside of black people just being upset with you. Because I've actually heard black outrage is profitable. Like having black people outraged, they make a profit off that. But we need to get it to the point where it's not like y'all don't make a profit. We need to make it to where y'all lose profit on black outrage.
Yeah, we need to take your money.
Right. And once we get on that same page to where we start, we move, our dollars move at the same. I even heard at one point, I think from some creator, to where like black people got reparations, the money will go right back to white folks within a few hours. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it need to get to the point where.
All the folks on that bitch crazy, bro.
Man,
I can shoot a music video with that hoe. Damn, man. My bad, y'all. I thought I had something to do. But we back at it then. I can't remember what the fuck they said.
Oh, what was it talking about?
I know we was talking about the pro black, but I'm trying to think.
Y'all just saying that we just need to do the same thing. Put businesses and other people, create our own type of essential businesses and stuff like that, so where we can damn, what was my train of thought? Yeah, so we'll have that same power. So where just how people made how Jews did Kanye, people play with us like that. We're gonna do them too. Because the only reason why people fear making bad comments on us, because they fear losing their endorsements, not because they fear black people, because they fear losing their endorsements. So if people got endorsement with Nike or people got endorsement with blankety blank, Nike knows black people is a large part of their consumer. So man, if you
for sure,
so people are scared of saying certain things because they worried about losing their endorsements, not because they worried about what we gonna do. And
what do you feel like one of the things like? Oh yeah, because you're talking about like profitable outrage, right?
Right.
I think one thing for sure that we've consistently proven like we can blow something up,
yeah,
and we can run it to the ground if we do it right. But we can make something get talked about. So like
we can.
What do you feel like is the thing that we could truly do, or one of the things we could do? Like, let's say, okay, we're gonna use Gucci as an example. Well, no, we can't use Gucci because everybody not buying Gucci, right? We're gonna use what's a brand? Who did something to black people recently that need to be checked? Let's see, because it's. I'm trying to think who the most
recent.
I would say Gucci, but I'm trying to think of something that like everyday people can actually like. Everybody ain't buying no damn Gucci.
Right. No facts.
Or YOLO. We don't even need a current event, but like, okay, let's say like this person says something and they need to be not taken out but canceled, right?
Right.
They don't need to be supported anymore.
Right.
What should we do as a people, as a collective, as a unit to ensure that happens, or to ensure that this person isn't profiting off black people anymore?
The problem is depending on how that person makes their income.
Adam 22.
Okay, like Adam 22. Adam 22 should be easy because his consumer base is mostly black.
No, literally.
Right,
like,
that should be easy. Just like we collectively stop supporting him and then promote somebody else in that same regard. So a lot of times what we do, what I feel like us black folks, what we do is, and how our outrage is profitable is what we do is we talk about what we don't like, and it draws more attention to that instead of necessarily talking about what we do like. So when we tear something down, we need to be equally promoting something that is usable, promoting it forward. AJ McQueen talk about that a lot in his music. How we are always talking about how black folks, we constantly killing each other in our music, blah blah blah, but we're not supporting the music that don't do that. And we did that. We're and put the same amount of energy that we put into the same amount of energy that we put into what we don't like, put into what we do like. It'll promote those people that's doing what we don't like to move over to what we do like. So, for instance, we're talking about Chief Keef, right? Chief Keef, that nigga when it comes to that, right?
He is a GOAT in that arena for sure.
Right, you know what I'm saying? If people put that same energy into like an AJ McQueen, or into people that promotes music that's a lot more positive, a lot of those, because Chief Keef is like the father of a lot of these people that's coming up nowadays.
Facts, yeah.
But we don't have like sons of an AJ McQueen. And if we do, we don't have people because AJ McQueen ain't even to where he should be, right? So if we get people doing that, we'll get people transitioning over. And because the absences of fathers not, keeping people from that type of lifestyle, it's like it's easy for people to take the Chief Keef route. You know what I'm saying? And then we keep promoting
it's
that.
It's definitely more simpler.
Because think about it. If think about it. Who is our leaders in the black community? Like realistically.
Like LeBron James, like none celebrity. I think that's what people would say. They'll just go towards like LeBron James, maybe like
right?
LeBron. Who else? It's probably LeBron, huh? I'm trying to think like who else. I would say Al Sharpton, but I don't think that's like maybe for 30 years ago.
So when we look at these other communities, who's the leaders in these white communities? They politicians, the president, they local business owners, things like that. But we need that same type of.
I think because first we go towards the hype too. Like whoever the person that got like
the hype,
the clout, they got the like LeBron is like.
Luckily, LeBron can do both, right? He got the clout, but he also contributes
he
in a very
push,
in
a positive way.
We don't have enough of that, and it's like what I'm trying to say is just because somebody ain't famous, they ain't driving the newest G-Wagon, they ain't got all the chicks on their shoulders, don't mean that they shouldn't be supported because they doing something. We need to keep a lot of the problem with a lot of us is when we finally get some money, we finally get some success, we hop over to another person's community. Yeah. We're not keeping the people in our community.
But like, what about like the people who achieve success in the community and then they turn out like Nipsey Hussle, right? So like, because I agree with that. I do think it like you gotta do both, but like.
You shouldn't have to do both, though.
You shouldn't have to.
In the black community,
but
you shouldn't have to.
Also, like in our community, like man, the whole it's like what like me versus you. Like it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like I want to be better than you. Like that competitive nature, which is what makes us great. One of the things that makes us great also holds people back. But it also go back to something you said earlier, man, when like people they got less and they're trying to think of an easy way to get more.
Right.
And I feel like that's most of the people, but it go back to really what like the core of that, like the lack of a like to me when I think of a father,
that's the core.
I don't think of a person having kids. You know what I'm saying? I think like you said, like being a man, like actually instilling. But a lot of that is gone. And you look at that, right? Maybe that's generational.
Right.
Maybe that's how that dude's father was, because back then it was way easier to be like to not be around. It was easy. Right. Nowadays, like. If you have a kid, it doesn't take much to find you on Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
And if you still choose to not raise your kid after that, you tripping.
Right.
But you can't really hide.
Right.
It's just it's crazy. It's just a lot of layers in order to. But I see what you're saying though, because it's not. We go towards the hype, so we gonna like you see the first thing I said was LeBron James. I'm thinking of somebody who's universally accepted.
Right.
And that people, maybe we can say Obama, people like that. Like it's far and few.
Yeah. It's like in the black community, if you not the hype and you doing good
or got money,
you know what I'm saying? It's like people not gonna pay attention. And then it's like the educated folk that become and that do well, they get like I said, the black educated men that do well and get successful. Not all the time, of course. We still got a lot that stay. They just don't get talked about as much, and those are the ones that they need to get praised, just like the rappers get praised. Because you want people to understand it's more than just. So many people in the low income areas, they just want to be rappers, ball players, somewhere where it's gonna have they're gonna have money, they're gonna have chicks on them, and they're gonna have the notoriety of the street cred. Sure. And it's cool to have like to be a Nipsey. I'm not dogging Nipsey because I love Nipsey myself, but it don't only need to be. Like if you ain't a Nipsey, then you a nobody. It don't need to be like that because, like I say, these other communities don't operate like that.
Yeah, you got options.
You got options. Like kids grow up, they want to be doctors. Kids grow up, they want to be politicians. Kids grow up, they want to be lawyers. But in the black community, you only get praise like that if you're a woman. Now, when women do it in the black community, it's good. But as a man, you do it, you just a square. That ain't
Yo,
cool.
I
Cause then
mean,
who
yeah,
wants to be a square? And
yeah.
then when you be a square, what are you gonna do? Go date you a white girl. And you contribute to that community and not to your own people.
There you
And
go.
then it keeps us where we at. And when we have that power to where we got people, and the reason why I'm bringing this up when you brought up how can we contribute to knocking down the Adam 22, because when you contribute to people that's squares, we have the ability to provide resources to where like you play with the black community, you're gonna lose
You
out
gonna
on
get checked.
resources.
Yeah.
And right, and I feel like black people having resources is the most important thing we need to focus. Not just having money, but having resources. Because it ain't just about money. They give you money because they know you going with it. They know you just gonna give it right back to them. Yeah. Take that money and build resources for your people. You build resources for your people. When white folks or any other people play with you, they lose out on the resources. And that's what it is. We need to have, and I'm not trying to create no race war. Because I want white people to do well. I want Asian people. I want Indian people. I want everybody to do well, but I want black people to be in that same talking bracket. I want us to do
better, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I want, we play with you, we're going to lose out on shit. You play with us, you're going to lose out on shit too. And that's because just how you said, we have the ability to make shit pop. But when it comes to resources, they're like, oh, well, black folks ain't got to worry about that. We can continue to do whatever we want to do with them. But when it comes to resources, they can't do shit to us anyway. They can just make shit less cool. So it's like, we need to get on that same talking level. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how I feel.
Yeah. No, for sure. And just getting people on that. So who'd you say is like top 2 or top 3 like underground independent artists in Houston? I feel like you're gonna say AJ McQueen for sure. Outside of him, give me 2 more. Cause the content y'all go stupid. I mean, you damn near do. I feel like you do all the videos. Like,
yeah, well, we got someone on our team now named Toby. Tobey, I'm sorry, I think that's how you pronounce it. Tobey, he real talented. So he do more of the directing than I do the DPing. But yeah, I've been working for AJ for years, like for 5 years. Bro. I've been working for
so you worked with him to the point where you seen him go from, I guess, average amount of followers to 100K.
Yeah, I do. When I first met him, I think he had like a little over 10K, and then he out over the course. This is how it happened. From the time, because I've been working with him for I want to say 5 years, about to be 5 years now. For the first 4 years, he went from like 10K, 11K to like 21K. Within the last like 6-7 months, he went from 21 to 100. he found his spark and he took off with that shit.
He said, "Let me get him some gems."
Yeah, he definitely been doing his thing. He been recognized by Erykah Badu. He got some shit coming, like him and Joey Badass is real tight. He been doing some real shit, man. He been really working, so I support that. But other artists, man, because I don't really care about artists no more because they get on my nerves, man. Who is the other underground artist that's really getting some?
Or who you jamming? I say like who on your playlist? Yeah,
in Houston or just in general?
Nah, in Houston.
In Houston.
Yeah, like who you playing that's around here or they somewhere around here?
Outside my homeboys, really nobody else. Really.
So okay. So are you okay? It's important you say that though, right? Your homeboys. So do you feel like you promote their music? Well, I ain't gonna even say promote it, right? I'm gonna say you share it on your story, which is a form of promotion, because that's always a hot topic. Like people not supporting their friends, quote unquote. Do you feel like, let's say you jam your homeboy song consistently, but you don't post it? Do you feel like you're entitled to post their music because you jamming it, or do you feel like they know you got their support? So it's like,
I do feel like you should. I do feel like you should. I do feel like if you like their music and you'll support somebody else's, you need to show that same support to your homeboy. I don't think you should not post it just because don't nobody know them yet. Now you ain't gotta be dick riding, obviously, but you know if I'm a hop in a car and I want to do a snap or Instagram story and I'm listening to Nipsey because everybody know Nipsey, you should do that for your homeboy too if you like it. Now don't do it if you don't like the song music. They not entitled for you to like their stuff. But if you do like it enough to like actually play it in your car, it don't hurt to support and show what they doing and post it on your stories and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think everybody should do that. Now, it's the artist's job to do the legwork to get their stuff where they need to go. But to support, it don't hurt to show no love. So I think now if you don't like it, then you obviously don't like it. But
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely a way to do. I would say, okay, so man, in closing, what's the when people come in contact with you, when they watch your work, when they see how you move, when they see you promote, when they see you doing your thing, what's the number one takeaway you want people to take away from you? Like, what's your message to people?
If I can do it, you can do it too. Cause I ain't had the most confidence growing up. I was very insecure. Even to this day, I battle with some of my insecurities. But in my high school years, I always wanted to kind of like fit in. 'Cause I always felt like I wasn't cool enough, or I was like I don't have the most charisma in the world. I'm not as shy as I used to be. I used to be stupid shy. But
I
I
think
think
everybody
video
was at some point in
right.
time.
I think videography brought that out of me where I'm a lot more open with a lot more people. But I didn't have the most confidence. Like I said, I wasn't really great in football, track. I was a decent cross country runner, which is crazy. But I wasn't good in football or basketball, track, and nothing like that. So I wasn't like deemed what black folks would say. Oh man, you that nigga, or nothing
Yeah,
like
well,
that. I
people, because
wasn't.
from a young age, the only thing people think is cool is really athletes or thugging.
Right, and I wasn't.
Like,
I'm not no thug either. Like I'm not. I tell niggas every day I'm not no street nigga. Do not try to. I'ma call the police, nigga. I'm not. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I see. I listen to rap, all that type of stuff, shit too. But I always just try to fit in. I wasn't always the coolest nigga, but I found something that worked for me, and I pushed it to make it to where I'm meeting new people and on your show and stuff like that. So I always say if I do it, you can do it too. You just gotta put in the work. Ain't nothing gonna come without work. I don't have a lot of money. I don't and so like I said, I work on small budgets. I don't do a lot of big budget stuff. So if I can make it work, you can make it work too.
no, I think we're gonna leave it straight like that, man. I appreciate you coming by, and of course, what I'm trying to do is, man, I'm talking to people at the beginning of the year. Well, shit, we in April, and then I'm gonna
Mhm.
talk to them at the end of the year to see. Oh, I forgot to ask you the question too. What's the one thing you want to accomplish this year? So when I touch back bases, see if you accomplished it or you would like to
I
accomplish
want to
this year.
expand my business to where it's not just me. I've been operating under SpideWebher Productions by myself for all these years, and I didn't make some good money or some decent money for myself. But I know, especially with like my job possibly changing hours and stuff. I'm gonna need another leg on the some more legs on the field doing something that I'm gonna not be able to do. So hopefully by the next time you talk to me, I done hired at least one person. So I want to do that, and oh, and as for I want to grow more on my YouTube podcasting type stuff. So hopefully I got my own personal podcast. I call it Spidey off the web. What I talk about is if you a videographer that don't come over there. Now I don't talk about none with cameras. It ain't got shit to do with cameras. It's more so about the black community stuff we talked
For
about
sure.
and like teaching men to be their better self so they can provide for somebody, right? So it's called Spidey off the web. And that's that. And then I also got a podcast I do with my homeboy that we just started our third season this the other day. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, we started
Yeah,
on
today Wednesday.
Monday. Uh, called the Opinionated Podcast. So and that's we talk about a lot of like general stuff too. So hopefully next time you see me, I at least got one of those monetized, whether it's Spidey off the web or the Opinionated Podcast. So
For
at
sure.
least one of those.
Nah,
And
for sure.
then
That's
so
that's
yeah,
definitely a thing. Man, I don't know how this one slipped out my head, but obviously you like Spider Man. You got Spider Man
yeah.
tattoo. When did you like? When did that become a thing? Like since a kid, you just
Yeah, I
like
think since
Spider
a
Man, or
kid, I
like?
think my mama just threw that on me so much that I eventually started. But I'm gonna be honest, I related to Spider Man so much to Peter Parker really because, like I said, I grew up. I was very insecure, dog. Like very. I didn't think I was trying to get girls to like me, try to be cool with friends. I was that nice guy, and I'm still that nice guy that Peter Parker is. So I identify with him so much, and I always put people before myself. Uh, and to this day, I kind of still have that problem where I'll go out my way for other people, knowing that I put what I need to do at risk, right? So I've always had that personality. So I identify with that so much. So I always strive on being a good person. So yeah, I love Spider-Man, dog. That's my favorite superhero. All just his moral compass is a lot like mine. I'm a little bit more evolved to a degree to where I'm a little bit more selfish than I used to be, but I still overall I'm a Spider-Man. I got a tattoo, and it says "There's a hero in all of us." I'm a super Spider-Man fanatic, so
No, for sure.
I just
It
and I
really,
don't care. And listen, I mean I got a girl now, but if I didn't, if a girl ever had a problem with me being a grown ass Spider-Man fan, she can get the fuck out of my house. I don't give a get the
hey,
hell out. I don't care.
so,
I'll find somebody
bro,
else.
it's
But my
nothing
girl
wrong with
love it
that.
though. She think it's cute. She sees. I want to get to the point where a person sees Spider Man, I want them to think about me. So,
No,
and that's a
hey,
good business tactic too, because it'd be like, oh, damn, you see that Spider Man backpack? Damn, I forgot to hit Spidey up for a video.
nah,
Boom,
literally just like that. Nah, I mean,
just like that.
even touching on that for sure. My last question, but
No,
man,
no, for
okay,
sure,
so you
yeah.
got the man, you did like the short film,
Mm-hmm.
and like you like did like all the damn. I don't want to say 3D, but like I forget what to call it, but like you did
All
the
the animation, I did some of it. I
yeah,
did
like
one. So if you look at that trailer I made, the Green Goblin one, I did that myself.
how long
Now
that
the
take you to
Spider-Man
do?
one, man, that shit is hard, dude. I respect any visual effects 3D artist. I give y'all the utmost respect because I cannot. I tried it just so I can say I'm never doing that shit again. I
Hey,
am never doing that shit was difficult as hell. But I like say with me, I always like to test my limits. What can I do? And I figured out I did it, and I would never do it again. But with the actual Spider-Man animation, it's this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name,
you
but
must
he
have been
know
from
who he
Germany or
is,
something, man.
and he actually live in Portugal,
Okay, yeah.
and he was a really nice dude. I found one of his videos that he did of his own with Spider-Man 3D effects and 3D web swinging and stuff. I found it and I hit him up and I told him what I was trying to do with it. And I told him like, man, how much you charge me? He hooked me up because it really should have been more. And he hooked me up and he did it for me. So hey man, shout out to if I ever need some more visual effects, he know I'm going back to him.
Yeah,
But
easy. You know who to tap into.
yeah,
And
for sure.
all right, damn, this is my last one for you. I forgot about this one. Okay, so doing the Spider-Man the trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a couple more months in a year. Are you gonna drop any other film projects outside of the music videos? You got like any scripts you working on or anything like that you planning to tap into?
Not any films, cause I was because that Spider-Man short film. It was a trailer to something that was supposed to be a full length, like short full length film that I was gonna try to do, but the budget that I had it wasn't gonna work, and I'm too busy to actually get that off the ground, and it was just gonna be a fan film, nothing that I was gonna actually make a profit off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably not gonna do it. But in place of that, what I've been thinking about doing is I think I want to do a documentary for myself because I always feel like I haven't accomplished enough to do one. But I'm like, no, I accomplished enough already because I know life ain't promised and anything can happen. So I don't want everything I did to just be a memory. I want people to
There you go.
live off
People to
of
feel it,
my
see it.
inspiration.
Yeah.
I want people to see me and be like, Jarvis Parsons, Spidey, JP, whatever you want to call me. He inspired me to be the best version of myself. So I want to make a documentary of that. And then plus, I mean, when I have kids, they'll possibly see it. So
Nah,
yeah,
not possibly they will. I think
yeah,
everybody would be happy to see that, including myself. Like I said, I definitely check it out. I respect your work,
I
man, your
appreciate it.
grind, and like I say, the quality. I'm a quality person, so usually that's the main thing I'm looking at from anything. Like I got a lot of people shoot music videos, but they don't know how to do quality.
Right.
So man, I respect it, and we gonna tap in later, man. But I appreciate you popping up. We at my crib right now, which I don't let a lot of people come here. So only if I like really respect the person and admire what they doing, I invite them into my space,
I
and all
appreciate
my friends can attest for that. So yeah, man, no, I'm curious to see what comes next.
it. For sure,
So
for
for
sure.
sure,
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, bro.
nah,
For
for
real.
sure, man.